Hello and welcome to our Star Citizen podcast. I'm Logic and this is Obsessite.
Hello.
So this week we'll be trying to just get down to the nitty gritty of what's happened during the last 2 weeks with Star Citizen. And I guess the biggest, at least for me, is the release date's been pushed back a week. So now we're moving into the middle of July, like the 6th. I think it's the 6th or 7th till the 20 something, 21st. Is the dates. So yeah, it's slowly moving my direction. I will say that. It's slowly moving to my direction.
Yeah. You might win yet. You might win yet. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's only a week,
I
but it
know.
might slip. It might slide some more. It's a slippery
I
slope.
mean, it does. I think it will slide more. I think I'm still standing by my thing that it won't. We won't see live until Gamescom. That's still my prediction. I predicted it months ago. It's still my prediction. So, and it's looking good. It's looking like a good guess. So.
Yep. Yeah, I reckon it'll be on the PTU within my window, but we'll have to go with the fact live is the victory condition. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
Well, the
it's
thing
going
is,
your way, man.
I think it's not necessarily a bad thing because I think if they push it back 2 months, I think a lot of the other stuff that is being pushed out, like maybe some of the other planets maybe end up being pushed into 3.0 because it gets pushed back so far and stuff like that. Uh, like you may get the Arc Corp, or you may get some other ships that weren't going to be in 3.0 because I think some of 3.1 is going to bleed into 3.0. So, you know, six.
It's only going to be a good thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, we've had this conversation before. I'm not that upset about the fact that it's going to slip because it's so important for CIG to get it right.
Well, the networking is the most important of all. I think if they can get the networking right, the rest of it will take care of itself. Because we've seen what the game can do and what the game's about, and how it's going to work. It's just performance really now is what we're really looking for, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, it's got to be stable. The netcode's got to be fit for purpose, and the migration across to Lumberyard has to be complete before 3.0 comes out officially, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, so I guess we'll hit straight into the ATV here. Where's the ATV video? Which one was the one? I think it was
Universal interaction.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's play that one. There. Okay. So yeah. So what was did you? I watched it, but it was like a week ago, so I've kind of forgotten. So it was basically about the inner thought system.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest deal. I'm just going back through my notes for this. I mean, the player interaction system was obviously one of the biggest things, but obviously the inner thought system is what's going to power the AI and the NPCs to do stuff and do stuff sensibly and realistically.
It's starting to look pretty good, actually. I was watching one of the videos where they were like interacting with the cockpit, and there's like you was like moving the mouse around the cursor around the cockpit and getting sort of a lot of information, which is nice to see. I mean, before the cockpit kind of felt worthless almost.
Yeah, exactly. They talk about it a lot more in this week's ATV, which we'll come to later. But yeah, item 2.0, which is kind of item 3.0 now, technically speaking, when they release it, is going to make a big difference.
Right. Item 2.0 is this just the system of have each item having its own variables and stuff like that. Whereas interaction 3.0 you're talking about.
Yeah, they mash it all together under one big thing.
Yeah. Mr. Aaron. There he is.
It's a lovely shirt.
No, I do like this new system. It's way more intuitive.
Yeah, I like that. Rather than having to bring up the chat window, remember what the slash whatever is for the actual emote, you can actually select it from there, which is a lot more easier to use, a lot more intuitive because everything's right there in your face, first person.
You see my cup?
What? Ah, yes. Now, is that part of the photo that was taken when you were over here last?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what else to talk about with this system? I mean, it's just basically just pretty basic like interaction system.
Yeah, I mean, in that ATV, they talked about air traffic control sprint going on for ship management, so that pads are actually a lot more controlled, because it's literally like first come first serve first crash right now in the
right.
Whereas I think they're going to bring it back towards how it was when the landing pads were first put in there, where you could actually see which one you wanted to choose to land on back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's bringing that back in. This is showing about the.
I do like the highlighting system they got on that. I really do. I think that highlighting system is superb. It definitely gives you a feel if that's the object you're trying to grab. So.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement, and it also makes sense that it's an evolution of what you have in something like Skyrim, whereas you're looking at a cup, and you hold down the use key and you can pick it up and lob it or whatever, whereas this is taking it further again.
Right, yeah. Oh dear. Okay, so Mr. Aaron, let's see you skip ahead for you. I don't really need to watch this part.
That's the work in progress for the prospector, that.
Why is the screen looks all like floppy or something? Like flexible.
It's just one massive piece of glass. Look at it. So it obviously has got loads of reflections in there, which could be interesting, really, when it actually comes around. But it's looking good.
Yeah, I was like reflections in the glass.
That's obvious. That's obviously not the prospector anymore.
No. Nine tails. Oh dear. Anyway, what am I doing? I'm not with it today.
That's right, man. We're out of practice. It's been 2 weeks.
So yeah, I guess apparently the ferocity of the atmospheric landing will be directly proportional to the speed you're traveling through the atmosphere, which is a good thing.
So the angle going into the atmosphere and the speed would actually increase how much stress or flames you see. And I love the contrails there. That was brilliant.
Look at that stuff, man. Lightning bolts. There is one planet. I think it's not Delmar, but Daymar. No, which was the one without not the planet. Delmar is not the planet, right?
Yeah. Pass. It's been a while since I've actually looked at that.
Well, the moon, beginning with D, has like lightning storms on it or something.
Delmar. That is right.
Yeah, I think it has lightning storms. One of them has lightning storms on it, and that I think was part of that system of lightning storms randomly appearing and just zapping shit. Because that would be interesting to dodge the lightning storms and cool to watch from like a big mountaintop. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you want to be in your Ursa rover for, really, isn't it?
Man, that thing is fucking big, dude.
It's fucking huge.
It's as big as they scaled it. It looks the same size as the Idris.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm quite close to using my Phoenix to Reclaimer upgrade, but I can't do it. I just can't make myself get rid of that Phoenix. I've had it for so long.
I guarantee you will. As soon as that Reclaimer comes live, man, you're going to want a Reclaimer.
Yeah. I don't know. You might get one. We both don't need one.
No, I might get one. You're right. I might get one. So, but
I got too many big ships already. I don't want another one.
Yeah, I might swap. Like, I wonder if a CCU up it to from a Caterpillar to a Reclaimer. I don't know.
Well, see, now you're putting pressure on. Because if one of us has to have a cargo carrier, I currently do have the merchant. I've got the merchantman. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it because I can still go back to the Vanguard, but Vanguard merchantman is it's no contest really. I was quite lucky. I had one of those 0 CCUs before, which I was able to apply before they got rid of them. But I didn't abuse the system. Okay, it's just how it worked.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Oh, well, we will be talking about that later because it's quite funny. Oh, look, they're destroying a constellation, Philistines.
Yes.
Looks cool, though.
No, it does look good. I mean, I really hope that they don't have to like do individual like placements of these things, and they can sort of like have sets of them, like randomly placed. Like they have the pieces of them, and they can just randomly place them. But apparently, if they had to manually do every crash site,
I don't. They'll find a way of doing it. Oh, look how cool that looks awesome, doesn't it? That Razor. It does look like a nice ship.
It does, but it doesn't look like a misc ship. But whatever.
No, because I got a 350R at the moment, and when these come out available, I'll be tempted to CCU up from it, but again, maybe not, because nobody knows what the reworked 300 series is going to look like. 'Cause they haven't started it yet.
The new Aurora actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah, it does look good. This is the Hull C, which is another
cargo.
Awesome looking ship.
Yeah, it does look really good to the Hull C. It'd be nice. They need a big hauler for like when they release 3.0. So hopefully this will be here soon.
Exactly. It definitely looks. I mean, they've got just like the Drake. They've got the MISC, MISC look down. Yeah, it looks like a MISC ship. You know.
It does. Although which is bizarre. That's why I'm so puzzled by the Razor. Every other MISC ship looks so super similar, except for the Razor. But whatever.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. A freelancer wouldn't do very good in a race.
No, it wouldn't. No. It's like to me. It's like I don't know. It's like really you don't expect a car maker that enters like the F1. You don't expect them to enter F1 at all. You're like, why are they in F1? You know.
Yeah, I reckon they probably bought the design off somebody else if in the in-game lore or something like that. Because you're right, it doesn't look like a MISC ship.
I know I'm sort of harping on about that, but it just annoys me anyway.
Right?
So the interiors look pretty epic actually. They're starting to look really good now.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work on them. It is going to look impressive, which is why so people are so hyped for 3.0 because these things will be in it.
It'd be really cool if you can actually get like a blank one and you can like build it, like in Star Wars Galaxies, you can basically just put shit wherever you want to put it. There's no limits. I think I'll be really happy if they do that sort of system where, as opposed to like the hook system, which is all super restrictive and where you can put things.
Yeah.
I'd hate that.
It'll be fluid, I think. I mean, these truck stop stations look pretty cool, don't they?
They do.
They look massive.
Man, imagine them along. That's like the size of an Idris, at least.
Yeah, it would put poor Olisar, give it a run for its money.
Yeah.
About the same sort of size.
So do you think the solar system in the 3.0 PTU will be of a decent enough size that it feels like you're traveling long ways to get between planets? Or do you still think they'll compress it down significantly so,
Oh, those look awful. They look brilliant, don't they, those takedowns?
They do.
Sorry. In answering your question, they kind of have to because they've made such a big deal about how big the current PU is. Obviously, all we've got is stuff which is kind of all around the Crusader planet itself, almost. Whereas, obviously, with the other planets and the moons, I reckon you'll probably be traveling in quantum for maximum a couple of minutes to get from the furthest places.
Really? Okay. So, that's good to know because I mean, at least good to hope because I really don't want it to be as it is right now, which is like 5 seconds to the nearest, planet to planet to planet. I mean, to me, they should start implementing a system where like move from like say Dalmar to Daymar takes 5 minutes or but and hopefully they will allow you to like load Arena Commander in that time and and not cause any what I mean, so you could like set yourself to travel and then your game gets interrupted if you get attacked, but you can also like play Star Marine or play Arena Commander while you're going along. So
the Star Citizen equivalent of checking your Facebook whilst you're flying. Autopilot.
Or even there's I noticed they were talking. They did some video of like a card game, like a poker game, and it'd be cool if you could like have a poker game in the back of your Cutlass or something.
Yeah, exactly. The distances have to feel like Quantum Drive needed to be created. So right now it doesn't take a lot of time. Like what was it? Like 20 seconds at the most, I think. I've been between one place and the other. Mm-hmm. That's just not enough. It needs to be big enough. I mean, obviously you don't want to have a huge amount of space with nothing in it, right? But then that's what space is.
Yeah, space is supposed to have nothing in it. That's the whole point of space. I mean, that's why it's so scary and so I mean, to me, the reason it has to be long, the gaps, is because the cargo runs. Because, like, if you can just, like, grab some cargo, fly 20 seconds, drop, and then get to where you're going. Where's that point of interdiction? How that person's going to have to be really unlucky to, like, if you're traveling for 5 minutes, then it's more likely you're going to get interrupted. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you'll have to have chance for the pirates to scan where you're going,
right,
and then set up to either interdict you en route or be waiting for you when you drop out.
Yeah, I think they definitely have to implement a big system, but that's going to put pressure on the sort of networking system, which is another issue. Do you think they'll increase the number of people per server?
I guess it all depends on what happens when they bring 3.0 to the table for everybody to play with. Because obviously, I mean, what's the limit now? Is it
24?
24. Yeah. I mean, I would hope that they could get up to 64 people per instance.
Well, they got to get up to more than
eventually.
That. They got to get up to more than that eventually. They got to get up to thousands eventually.
Oh yeah, sure, but I mean within the local instance, if you like.
Yeah.
So I expect they're going to shard it up a bit. So obviously, the further away you are, the more people you have, but the less interaction you have with them. So like you can send these people a message if there's like 1,000 people in the same solar system shard or whatever. But we'll have to wait and see. It's all guesswork, really. But yeah, it's got to feel like a living universe.
That's what this podcast is for like to take that guesswork and try and put some face on it or some perspective on it.
Yep.
So we're trying to give you some information. What are we looking at? Oh, so we were looking at the stabby before. Stabby. Now we're looking at some gun action. And I said the animations is getting really good. It just... Oh, jeez.
Jesus Christ. Is that dude Luke Cage, the guy who was holding the gun? Smack, he knocked him from... That's pretty impressive, though, isn't it? The way that the actual in-game face is mimicking the animation, the actual expression of the actor.
I know, his mocap is pretty awesome. I'd still guarantee you no Squadron before December. You know. There's no way they get Squadron before December.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little bit of Squadron at CitizenCon.
Yeah, I guess they might do the slice this year. That would be amusing.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'd hope to see that we'd see some of it by the end of the year at least. I reckon CitizenCon at the latest. Because can you imagine if they actually brought that out at CitizenCon? Say, by the end of it, you'll be able to play episode 1 of Squadron 42.
They haven't even got
that would be really good PR.
Yeah, but they haven't even got some of the core systems in yet. I mean, some of the core systems are not even finished, and how do you expect to even do polishing? Polishing takes time. Polishing of code, polishing of everything. I mean, how do you expect them to, if they haven't finished the core stuff, polish something that's not even done yet? I mean,
well, again, we're not looking at the code that we have it's probably almost a year out of date now. It's the old branch which has been redundant, right? So 3.0 is the relatively more, it's a lot more recent to what they're working on now.
Yeah.
They may have polished it up a lot more than we've seen so far.
I guess it could be that once we get 3.0, we'll have a better idea of where Squadron is. Based on the information of say if 3.0 is really tight and it's looking clean, basically if it's looking good 3.0, then there's a good chance you'll see Squadron 42 coming out maybe by the end of the year, which is highly unlikely in my opinion. But
I don't think we're going to see it all in one go either.
Really, you think they're going to spread it out?
Yeah, I think they're going to episode it.
I could do.
I think they'll release it in little bits, rather than the whole game like you would have at a retail release. So I expect you'll probably have the first 3 missions, and then 3 to 4 months later you'll get the next ones, and so on and so forth.
60 missions in the first act, apparently.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. They might make Act 1 episodic, so you get maybe 10 missions at a time.
Did you play Hitman, the episodic series, the new one? Because
and ironically, I didn't, because I didn't really want to have to wait for the next bits to come out.
But then I didn't buy it either.
But then obviously, we could understand why CIG would do it. But obviously, the reason why the Hitman people did it was to basically charge more money for each episode, right?
Right.
But obviously, for us as backers, if we've got a package with Squadron in, which of course we do, we would get the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but
Um,
I don't know. Episodic content really does nothing for me. It really, I could care less about it. I just don't even look at those games with episodic content. I mean, I
yeah,
don't
sure.
even.
It's the polish bit that makes me think why they would do it episodically, so they can concentrate on the first 10 missions, polish those to the point where they blind you if you look at them in the wrong way, and then release them. Then it gives them some breathing space to polish the next bit out, because, and so on and so forth, right? So by the time we've all played up to the 60th mission,
Yeah.
it really is, every single mission is AAA, been, you know, QA'd to death. And I don't think they will PTU Squadron.
Really? You think it'll just go straight live and that's it? There won't be any
Yeah.
sort of it?
Yeah, because ultimately they can control everything with that experience from A to Z, can't they? The individual person's rig is only going to affect frame rate.
Yeah, but
right?
to
So
me,
they can do it
that kind of goes
because of the
against their thing.
spoilers.
I know, but I know there will be spoilers, but the I don't know. I just can't see them doing.
Or if they do PTU it, they allow people to sign up to say yes, I would like to,
NDA.
right? Rather than giving, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, people will be spoiling it for everybody who didn't want to test it. Because that's the thing, Squadron and the story behind it, and obviously not knowing what's going to happen is the key part of the enjoyment for everyone who plays it. And if they did put it out there, there will be some dickhead who actually spoils it for everybody
if it's good
just
enough,
because they want.
the story is, the story. If the game is good enough, the story is kind of almost superfluous. I think, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a good, good story, and the game is really fun. I mean, I played like certain games multiple times and finished them multiple times. I know the story already. It's just a great game. So
Yeah, but the first time you don't want to know what's going to happen, do you? Especially if they're big surprises or cliffhangers.
Would you wait for the live, or would you want to test it before it's completely all done and like polished?
No, I would wait, because I'm, a big part of the reason why I backed the project to the level I have done is because I hope that Squadron 42 is going to be something that no one has ever seen before.
I don't think that the
it's going to be that good.
Single player is going to be like this mega thing that you guys, everyone seems to think it will be like this AAA game that's no one has ever done. I think the PU will be that. I don't think Squadron.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm really looking forward to playing the PU, and I will thoroughly enjoy that as well. But for me, a lot of my relationship with the previous games they're all been single player, right? I didn't play Armada or any of the multiplayer Wing Commander games. I just played them all solo and really enjoyed the stories, and because of it. But obviously the PU it's almost the bonus, really. It's not. At the end of the day, I pledged because I wanted the single player to be amazing, but I also like the idea of it being carried on, so you can play it effectively forever, in quotes, until they turn the servers off.
My reason for supporting the game from early on was basically the opposite of that. I really couldn't care less about the single player. It'd be fun, and I'm sure it'll be a good 60-hour piece of entertainment. But the real game to me is the PU, and sort of living in a universe. That's the game that's what I mean. To be honest, Squadron 42 is neither here nor there for me, at least. But
well, there you go. That's why this podcast works so well, is because we both have kind of not polar opposite, but different different focuses on what we want.
Yeah.
You want obviously the PU to be amazeballs, and of course so do I. But obviously I wouldn't want to play Squadron and see NPCs walking through walls or doing something stupid, because I expect it to be an interactive movie by the time they're done.
Yeah,
because
I've never played a single player game where the game is so good that basically I want to play 1,000 hours of it.
Not even Skyrim.
No, I don't know. No, I'll play. I play. I mean, technically, I have played XCOM 2 a shit ton, but
yeah, still enjoying those videos. By the way, it's good. I almost messaged you the other day, saying, for God's sake, release another one.
I know. I was working and I forgot about it, and I had to edit a bunch. So I released like 6 of them at once then, just because
I know. I watched them all, and I was like, oh come on, where's the next one?
No, but I've literally played like hundreds and hundreds of hours of XCOM 2. So I mean, there are games like that, but the XCOM 2 is more strategy based. It's not necessarily about the story, But
no, exactly.
Anyway,
we digress, as we do.
Yeah, as we do. So yeah, I mean, to me, the single player game is great, but I mean, you might play through it more than once, twice, three times, but eventually it's going to run out of steam. I mean, where the continuity of the game running for a long period of time is where the persistent universe is, and how good that universe is sort of immersing someone in that game. I mean, that's where it is for me anyway.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I like you. Spend a lot of time playing other games. Like Elite Dangerous is probably the one that I use. I put so many hours in because I enjoy being able to do lots of different things, trading, exploring, blah 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 blah. But I expect that the persistent universe will basically give me Elite Dangerous, but in much higher fidelity. Yeah, same sort of thing. Way more interactive and immersive. Anyway, where were we on the old ATV?
Nebulas. They are pretty.
So
apparently these nebulas are going to be as big as the solar system, some of these nebulas. So, yeah, that would be interesting. A nebula as big as a solar system. I mean, to me, that just blows my mind.
Yeah, can you imagine getting lost in there?
I know, right?
How do I get out? I don't know. It'll be a nightmare.
Yeah, it'll be some really cool exploration sort of... exploration is going to be such a big part of this game if they do it right. I mean, if they have sort of these hidden gems, because the universe is so big and the galaxy and the solar systems are so big that, you know, even if there was a million people playing the game, they still wouldn't find all the hidden gems in the system.
Exactly. And because a lot of it will be procedural, there will be, you know, almost infinite number of hidden things that you could find because it's not all being handcrafted.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, you know, I do want some sort of like the exploration to be meaningful. You know, I mean, it has to be meaningful, otherwise the game is going to be a bit rubbish. Like being able to sell the information of you exploring this nebula and where all the cool sort of resources are. So you enter an asteroid field and you're like scanning them, and then you sell that information to someone who wants to come out and mine it. I mean, that sort of gameplay that merges one aspect with another aspect is just. That's why I want the game so bad.
Yeah, so you can effectively do, you know, what we've always wanted is basically a first-person space sim where you can do whatever the hell you want, and it's not just about being, you know, screwed into the cockpit chair and you can't do anything else apart from look around.
Yeah, that's why I can't play Elite Dangerous. Plus the flight models just not good enough. It's just I don't know. I just don't like it. But anyway.
Yeah, it's a different kind of game.
It is. Anyway, so yeah, interaction system. They're talking about the old system versus the new system.
Yeah, this is showing off what they can do at the moment. Then throughout this segment, which we're obviously going to have running in the background as we talk, they show you other bits and pieces like the highlighting of objects that you're interacting with, which Logic mentioned right at the beginning.
Someone mentioned on Reddit that they wanted the animations to like be exact, like for you to walk over. Say you want to drop something, you have to walk over there and like place it there, like you would in real life. But I just don't see that happening. That would require so much animation and so much, you know, sort of tweaking and bug fixing. Having, you know, like being able to literally reach and grab a box exactly where the box is, as opposed to it sometimes teleporting into your hands. I think there's the sort of the teleportation of the things has to happen sometimes. It's just unavoidable.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a lot they're doing, you know, with the really clever procedural animation technology they've shown in the last few weeks or so. But, you know, as long as it's not glaring teleportation all the time and it just moves by, I don't know, a couple of centimeters when you actually engage with the object and pick it up, I can live with that. But, you know, the first iteration of grenades in Star Marine, I couldn't deal with that if that was everything, where you literally lobbed a grenade and it all of a sudden appeared in midair. You know, that was rubbish. Yeah, I mean, so they fixed it now, but that was pants.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But like having to like walk forward and get as close as you need to put something down. You know what I mean? Sort of like
it won't be that accurate. This is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like this. Pouring a line of shots for your buddies. That even though it's literally just really rough, you know, it's kind of, I don't think I've seen a game do that before, where you could actually do that. You know,
I'm really looking forward to seeing their into their sort of like UI in their system and inventory, and that's one of my big things. I mean, I want to see how they're going to play it out. You know, I mean, they have a lot of good ideas. I just want to see, hopefully, it's intuitive, because a lot of these games are, the interfaces suck. Like Skyrim interface, terrible interface. All those games are crap interfaces.
Yeah, it's because they're designed to work on bloody consoles. That's why. And console players got frigging just a joypad, and that's it. No mouse, no absolute fine control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing Skyrim on the Xbox One before I came up here, and you get used to it, but you're never going to be able to see something like this on a control pad, because it would take you forever to choose what you want to click on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm so happy there's no console version, at least now. At least, and they're adding mouse and keyboard to the console. Did you hear that? I heard something about that on Xbox.
I wouldn't be surprised if Project Scorpio supports keyboard and mouse.
Yeah,
because that thing is going to be pretty close to competing with, or being better than an average gaming machine.
I was going to say, come on now, be realistic. It's not going to be a high-end PC.
That's why I said average, right? Apparently, the graphics card in it is going to be between a GTX 1060 and a 1070, which is pretty damn powerful for a console.
Yeah, but by the time it comes out, it'll be like the 1180. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you'd have to spend like bloody $700 to buy one of those, which is more than the console itself. Got to be a bit realistic.
That's my point. My point is, consoles will never be as powerful as a PC. It's never going to happen.
Yeah. No, I don't think they'll ever expect them to. But there'll be a chance where, because obviously Microsoft do it at the moment, where you can buy a game if it's done by one of the Microsoft development teams. And you can buy it on both, like Gears of War 4. I picked that up and I had it on. I've got it on the PC and on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Actually, I like that system a lot.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they do it. If there's even closer integration between the two, where you just buy it and you can play it on both, because they effectively are. It's effectively a PC, but in a console shell.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move this along a bit. We got enough of the interaction system here.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody watching this hasn't seen this particular segment, it's worth watching, because you can see the concepts that they're actually building into what's going to be out with 3.0. It's pretty cool. I expect this game in VR would be bloody mind blowing.
This is what I was talking about earlier, but like, sort of like being able to like. I really hope that your hand moves down to that sort of area and sort of flick some switches when you do shit. You know what I mean? Like when you put your inner thought system and then your hand reaches and like. Put some time.
Yeah, so your player actually presses the switches rather than you just using the force to do it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I really hope that that's the case, because that would be pretty awesome. Finally, like it feels like you're in a spaceship, and you can like click, 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 sort of turn off, atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean they might do it for some, because you can obviously, when you jump in ships now, especially the Hornet series, you get in and he presses all the buttons, right? So there's obviously they've thought about that, so maybe they'll expand that so that they'll do the rigging of the animation of the skeleton to go, right, this person wants to turn the engines off, right, so your character will go boop.
I mean, it's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of work, but it's not like they shy away from complex systems. So
no, I hope they get that far. It'll probably take a while for them to do it for every single ship, but things like the Aurora, the new one that's being redone completely. In this week's ATV, which we'll get to later on, the Aurora is the first ship that's been designed from the ground up to be used with the new Item 2.0.
Did you hear they're redoing the Mobi-Glass system, like in the 3.0?
Yeah, I think that's going to be good, because it looks a little bit
it looks super
archaic.
dated. It does look super dated. Although, to be honest, when the intro, like in 2.6 came out, like the main screen came out, the new main screen, when you load the game, that was way better than the old one. Way better. Like light years ahead of the old one. So I'm really hoping that they knock it out of the park like they did with that, because the new system is very cool.
Yeah, they're bound to. And again, there's probably really cool stuff that they use every single day at CIG internally, but we won't get to see it until we're on the 3.0 branch.
I really hope you can like stuff shit into those like little things, those little like cubby holes. It's like,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if they're clever enough with using the physics system with the actual internal, whatever they call it, interactive system, they could, I suppose. There's no reason why they couldn't have like a XYZ, and whatever the depth axis is of where you've put something, and it remembers where it is. So you log out, and all your stuff's where you left it. So you can actually have complete freedom of where you put something, rather than just like you said, the old school hook system.
Right.
Where they just
I also want to maybe put decals inside the like and shit like that on
stickers.
Yeah, stickers and shit. So I know it's my ship.
At the end of the day, if this comes out like that, and it is VR, I'm actually gonna have to fly over there and say, "Oi, hello, wakey, wakey," or Jess will have to come in every so often and actually spoon feed you water or something to keep you alive.
I know. Kids will poke me, Dad.
I gotta go to school. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, this has got that potential, though, hasn't it? I like this though. Look, you can actually put your bloody pictures on the wonk, which would be really annoying for somebody like me who always likes to try and keep things like that straight.
Maybe if you crash, your paintings all go wonky.
Yeah, you have to go. Not only do you have to repair, you have to go around and straighten all your bloody all your pictures.
Stupid hooks.
Yeah.
Do you think that in the 29th century they could have overcome hooks, like paintings going off center by now, but like come up with a system where it doesn't like do that? So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shit at doing that sort of stuff anyway. I'm all right at shelves and putting pictures up, but I put a blackout blind in the kids' room today, yesterday, and I was off by about a centimeter on the left-hand side. So when you pull the blind down, it's a centimeter more covering the window on one side is on the other, which is just like, so annoying. But I'm not actually taking it down and rehanging it just for a centimeter because there's only so many holes you can drill.
Okay. So what was the next one called?
The next ATV is Lighting the Universe.
Oh yes, there it is.
Which has to be said like that, Lighting the Universe. Because this was really impressive. I watched this one today.
There was some good videos in it. Good like little snippets of what's to come in terms of like lighting and planets and how it all connects to each other. God, I'm having trouble talking. So yeah, let's just skip ahead for the little initial talk. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, look at that obvious little bit of advertising for the Anvil Cup.
Isn't it Aegis?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the Aegis Cup and Saucer.
Cup and saucer. Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah. Well, that's what it is.
It's Eclipse.
That's the Eclipse. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
The cup and saucer.
Is that Aegis? No.
I'm pretty sure it's Aegis, buddy.
Yeah.
It looks like
it's just like a proper. It's like a proper British cup and fucking saucer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would probably because
I think it was the recap of UK this time. Or no?
No, it was LA.
LA this time. Fine. Okay, so yeah, they're progressing.
He's really good at reading off an auto cue. I think that's why they hired him because you can't tell that he's reading. He's really good.
Yeah, he does have a good television presence.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things they said was that the M50 will be the first ship converted over to Item 2.0, which is what you saw that right at the beginning. Yeah. And then the new Aurora is the one that's been designed for 2.0 rather than converted. I'm a little bit annoyed that I actually got rid of my M50.
Do you think they'll have all the ships done for 3.0 converted over? Or do you think this is just like... Do you think it is...
Not a chance. I don't think so, man. There's just too much to do. I reckon you'll probably have the Hornet, basically all the squadron ships, right? So the Hornet, the Gladiator, sorry, not the Gladiator, the what's the little one called? Gladius. Yeah?
Gladius,
so the Hornet.
Gladius, yeah.
Gladius, yeah. The Hornet, the Gladius, and the M50, and the...
I would have thought they would have wanted to do more, man. That they would have like thought ahead and said, oh, well, let's start this earlier sort of thing. But I don't know.
Well, and obviously eventually when the Cutlass is released, the Cutlass Black too, but we'll see. They might surprise us. Maybe one of the reasons why it's taking so long is they wanted to make sure they had this done too.
Yeah. I hope so. I can't believe how much stuff they have left to do, and it's like almost 2 months. It's almost less than a month now until they release to the Evocati.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that. I still, I mean, I understand that the people who are in the Evocati are the ones who are doing the most visible testing and are putting all of the bug tests in and using the issue council, blah, blah, blah. But I still think that something as big as 3.0, everybody should get to test it for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean...
Right from the get-go, I don't think they should segregate it because it is that big. They need that much feedback to make sure they don't miss anything.
People are a little finicky about their, if it's not like amazeballs right off the bat, they're going to be like, well, So I don't think maybe just subscribers and concierge or something like that get to test it.
How cool does that look?
I know, right? It does look amazing.
Yeah, they were talking about something new they were adding in was the ability of the client to request new information from the server rather than it all being pushed. So if you're actually coming out of your ship, you can request from the server, where's all the local stuff next to me, and get a refresh of it all.
That might be that might cause problems though, because that could increase pop-in.
Well, it depends on how they do it. If they do it just as you click the button to open the back of your ship, right? No, I don't know how it's going to happen. I guess it'll be a lot more behind the scenes than you have to do something for it to do.
You can look out a window and expect to see those things there. Yeah. So I mean, it should be.
That's the back of the new Cutlass.
Is that it looks like the Freelancer.
No, that's the.
That's the Constellation.
Yeah, because they're talking about allowing things to be docked inside ships properly. So at the moment, when you stick a like a grey cat in the back of a Constellation in the hangar, and you try and shut the cargo bay, it just bounces around a lot because it doesn't click in place. It fights with the physics box of the physics grid of the hangar and the physics grid of the ship. I think that's what's going on anyway.
Yeah, that is what's going on. I think they said that they've all pretty much finished now physics grids within physics grids. So I think that shouldn't. Yeah, they just got to get it locked down, sort of thing.
That's what they were showing there, is that they've sorted it out, which is good, because that's important. Because you don't want things flapping about when you put them inside ships. Because if that's the same as cargo boxes,
Yeah.
They have to make sure it all sits where you put it and it doesn't move. Because they made a big deal of having that texture that makes it look like magnets on the bottom of the cargo bays. You don't want things moving around because that makes no sense then.
That caterpillar did look fucking amazing though. Sitting on the planet like that with the lighting all set up.
Awesome. It's a really nice ship.
Oh dear. So
I'm trying to remember what he's talking about now. Right, yes. This is where they were talking about the way you can automate the firing of thrusters when the AI are moving ships around. So rather than it just moving with it actually simulates the thruster use that a pilot, if you were actually sat in the pilot ship, it would do it. This is the new.
Do that?
Apparently not. This is the new Aurora. How cool does that look?
It looks pretty epic, actually. The interior looks amazing. The seat looks really cool.
Yeah, LX and LN fancy ass seat look.
Are they doing all the different models on that one? Just like are they?
Yeah. It's a complete redo.
Okay.
It's being rebuilt. This is the grey box of the Terrapin. Looks pretty awesome, doesn't it?
It does look good. I said looking a little stockier than a little bit more turtleish than before. It looked kind of weird, but I'm kind of liking it more now.
Yeah, it looks nice and meaty.
It looks like a tank, basically.
Yeah, technically, it's like a stealthy, covert tank, which gives you the ability to run like fuck without getting blown up. Hopefully,
does it move quick like the Herald, or is it kind of like?
I don't think it's as quick as that, but it's obviously going to have some turn and burn. Otherwise, no amount of armor is going to save you if you're getting plinked to death.
Yeah, plink, plink, plink.
Yeah. So the Gladiator he's got on that screen.
Yeah,
it is.
It did look like it. Come on.
That's in need of a redo. That is. It's a great ship, but it's a bit out of date now.
So they're talking about the skeleton system right here and how they're able to adjust the skeleton system and then recompile it on sort of, as opposed to just like adjusting the current skeleton system, they can just recompile it on the fly pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can literally just add in additional bones or make amendments, and it'll just filter through to everything, so you don't have to do it several different places, which is really, really useful.
Yeah, speeding up. They have so many things that they have to do to like speed up everything else that they do, but that stuff is kind of coming into place now. So it's almost to the point where You don't. They have all that. Eye color changes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about the fact you can choose. You can choose from a specific palette of eye colors, so you're not all going to have the same one. And the same with the skin.
So the character customization is coming in 3.0, if I remember correctly, right?
I'm not entirely sure, but it's getting
sure
there. Obviously, they're working on it.
I'm pretty sure it is because it was on the list. But yeah, the new system does look good.
Yeah, I mean the characters look awesome, don't they?
They do.
And this next bit, they're talking about. Oh yeah, now you can now they've got a system in which makes the rest of the body match the color you've picked for your face, which is kind of important unless you want to look like Donald Trump.
Oh dear. Anyway,
what if they're gonna end up selling RSI undies?
RSI undies.
Yeah, because that's what those dudes are. The base person's using.
What is this?
This is talking about how they can automatically generate LODs.
Okay.
And this is like the procedural shading and changing of textures on the interior bits and pieces, and how they're allowing it to be much better at automatically populating props in them as well, so they look lived in.
Yeah. It's a female model.
Yeah, she looks like a model too. But that's brilliant, isn't it? Look at that. It looks badass, that armor.
Yeah.
That's the heavy outlaw, which we haven't seen.
Female characters in the game if they eventually get around to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the medium, obviously the female skeleton and all the rest of it is in, and obviously they now got a fully mapped medium armor, so it's getting there.
Yeah.
And this is for Squadron. This armor set, I think. This is for stuff in Squadron 42.
Do you think in Squadron 42 is it gonna? I think it's gonna be more like open worldish than originally thought about, right?
Yeah, probably. You might have a bit more flexibility. I mean, I was shaking my head then because why did they put horns on a fucking space armor? I mean, this isn't going to be bloody Mad Max in space. I mean, everybody seems to be obsessed with making everything look a bit, pointy and bloody hell.
You're getting old, buddy. You're getting old.
It's disappointing.
Lighting and fog.
Yeah, it sounds like a really boring subject, but this is really, really cool.
No, the lighting is super important. I mean, it makes a game a lot of the time. If you get atmospheric lighting. Ooh, there's the cards. Yeah. Playing cards.
Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So you can imagine you're sat there, and if you're there at the right time, you can see the sun rising, and all sorts. It's just
it blows the mind. It really does blow my mind. Like the idea of me being able to look up and see this very highly realistic moon that's right above there, and I can just hop in my ship and go there. I mean, you could do that in No Man's Sky, but the quality was just not there. There was, it still felt like a cartoon. Where in Star Citizen,
this is for me. This bit here is one of the most impressive bit of lighting I've ever seen in a game. Just look at that. It looks like it's an actual bloke doing that rather than an in-game asset.
It does. I mean, this sunrise is amazing too. I mean, I know we talk about the game being amazing, but it just really blows my mind. And
it's incredible.
Yeah. And look at that. Shadows, the sun rising over the horizon. And I guess some of the planets, the orbits may only allow the sun to just come above the horizon very sort of low and then go back down, just depending on the orbit of the planets. I mean, you may not get a full arc over the top of them,
True enough. There's a lot they could do. I mean, one thing they did say in this bit, which I don't know whether I just misunderstood it or not, but he was talking about how they had to change stars and how the lighting of a star in a solar system is done. And apparently, there's only one star now in actual Star Citizen. They just use the same one in all the different solar systems. It's just the actual planet's. Yeah, that's amazing. It's the actual planet's atmosphere that changes how the lighting looks at the ground level. But I think I must have misheard him or misunderstood it, because all of the stars, when you look at the arc map, loads of them are different colors.
Yeah, some of them are.
All the rest of it. That's got to be me just not understanding that properly. But how cool that looks.
Hopefully they can do binary systems as well. Not just single star system. Single star systems.
It depends on whether they do any physical rendering of gravity, or whether they just gamify it. If they put gravity,
they have to gamify
it. Then they could potentially put binary star systems in, but then obviously the orbits of all the planets would have to be affected by it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's more of a later thing, like in the future, as opposed to right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So then, what is it? This is the whole lighting. Yeah, I mean, lighting just makes a game really. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, when you look at
lens engine flare.
Is that a Bengal? I think it is,
No,
isn't it?
It's Javelin.
Is it?
Yeah. What? Man, to me that looks like a picture, and
I'd want to go fishing down there.
Yeah, it just blows me away how good the detail and the LODs are. Just how I really hope that it looks as good when you're actually in the game.
Yeah. It does. When the 3.0 is released, we're just going to probably spend ages just flying about, gobsmacked at how pretty it looks.
Hopefully, that's my hope anyway. I mean, hopefully we can get into the concierge, the concierge PTU, which they did for 2.6, and hope they do that again. The concierge subscriber PTU, where they release it to us. I'm assuming sometime in July, early July.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, when we're both in there, we'll have to see if we can get some streaming going on, so we can fly about in my Aquila, and we can go driving about in the Ursa. Try not to break it.
I'll bring my saber. I can guard you. Yeah, or I can get on a turret if the turrets are better.
Get on the turret, man. We need to use the turrets, or you could use the Merlin.
I could use the Merlin. I've never flown a Merlin, so I can't really.
Because hopefully they can, they'll have brought in the docking of the Merlin to the actual constellation by that point. Because that would be awesome if they did that. Because then the constellation, which is one of the ships I've always been really interested in, will be effectively feature complete once you're able to actually dock and launch the.
Can you put cargo in a constellation?
Yeah.
Even the Phoenix, I don't think.
Yeah. The Phoenix has got cargo, but not much. So obviously, it's got the Lynx rover, which is the blinged up rover that it has. But that obviously cuts down, and all the other nonsense, which I hope they cut down on for the redo, because no, I don't want to see a bloody hot tub in the redone Phoenix.
I like his cap.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wonder what he thought of the new Alien film, because I haven't seen it yet. But,
no, right. I heard
a lot of people.
That great.
No, I've heard that people aren't well receiving it, which is a bit of a shame. Because it needed. I wanted it to be proper scary, because I've always enjoyed watching the Aliens films.
I got to get one of those caps. I got to get one of those caps. I like that cap.
What, the Nostromo cap?
Yeah.
Have you ordered the Squadron 42 hat yet?
No, I haven't been. I've been working. I forgot about
it. You should have a look. The merchandise is still there, and the subscriber discount is still available for those things. Okay. It's like $14 for the Squadron hat with the discount.
I prefer the Nostromo hat right now. That thing looks super comfortable.
It does look nice.
Oh, it's Benny's Chinese there. Wow, man. The idea of like loading into the game and then getting up and then looking out and seeing that kind of shit, it just blows my mind.
The thing that I'm thinking about straight away is can you shut the windows if there's a really bad storm? Because how cool would that be?
I don't think you can open them, mate.
No. Because obviously I expect there's going to be a blast shield that could drop down, right?
I don't think they're open. I don't think they're open. I don't think you can stick your hand through. I think they're glass there.
No. I know they're glass. What I mean is by opening the windows. I mean, can you actually close the armored cover over it?
I see what you mean. I see. Sort of like if there's a storm coming, put the protection down to stop the.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Probably. I would assume so. I mean,
have you ever been to Grimhex?
I have.
Yourself?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not that interesting.
I got stuck there for a while because I accidentally blew somebody up by mistake. Because I fired one of my torpedoes off a Gladiator I had at the time, and it blew up one of the players who was next to the pirate. So I ended up having to try and clear my name at the security. That was fun. Trying to actually get in there. You just have dickheads who stand there shooting anybody who comes in just because. It's just dickheads. Sorry. There's always got to be a point to what you're doing. And if your point is there just to annoy other people, then that's not fun, and you should get kicked.
I don't have a problem with people trying to annoy other people. I don't have a problem with that. Just because it's, I mean, I don't do that, but I don't have a problem with that. I think it's a valid tactic, sort of.
Well, yeah, but at least not wait inside, just outside the door, which you have to go through, right? Give them a chance to get in.
Well, that's just all that suggests is the guy doesn't know how to play the game properly. Like, can't shoot straight, so they have to use, I mean, admittedly, maybe they don't want to take the chance.
It only happened once.
No.
Now, this bit here is really impressive, right? I was quite impressed with this when I saw it. I was like, wow, that looks like a realistic representation of what you would see in real life, which is, what this game's all about. Check this out now.
I know, right?
How awesome is that?
That is pretty cool. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Ah, dear. Anyway. Okay, so what else we got lighting-wise? There's not a whole lot. I mean, this lighting segment goes on for a while. I mean, how they deal with
this bit here was really, really, really interesting, but it goes on a bit, and it's worth watching yourselves rather than us telling you about it, because this is the old fog, and how they did it before, where they basically, with a clear sphere, which is what that is. So if you imagine a glass sphere, they'd literally just shoved a load of fog in it to make it look like it's fogged up, but it's not. But in the new system, it's so much better.
Yeah,
probably the best thing to do is say, look, watch it yourself. But the bit right at the end,
try to show them that. This one, is it this? I think it is.
36:45 was the actual timestamp. Is when he goes into the where is it? It's the reclaimer bit at the end, which is pretty cool. This is awesome as well.
What is that? Security system or something?
Yeah, I guess so.
So this is the reclaimer?
No. I may have got my time wrong. It's possible.
It's just 36:45 is coming up now. It's like in 5 seconds. But, yeah. Nope.
That was really funny. Yeah, look at this. This is just
mind-blowing. A storm the reclaimer in a storm.
Yeah, but not only does the reclaimer look a lot like the Nostromo, I'm pretty sure what they did this so that it would tie in with the fact that Alien Covenant's just come out, because there's even like a crashed alien bit at the end, but it does look awesome. Like I say, it looks like something you'd see in a film. If you didn't know what you were looking at and you just saw that on a screen in HMV or something, you'd think it was a trailer from a film, wouldn't you?
You would. The smoke doesn't necessarily inherit the speed of the wind, it doesn't look like, but maybe that's just not possible, like the speed of the smoke.
There's probably only so much they can do right now, but eventually it will all be exact, I expect. Look at the scale of that wreckage as well.
Another Vanduul ship, maybe?
Yeah.
Crashed Vanduul. That's probably Squadron 42, where you have to go investigate a crashed Vanduul ship.
Yeah, it could be. Could be like a sneak peek, which nobody actually knows is a sneak peek until you actually play the game later.
Well, like you land next to there's a distress call from a reclaimer, and then you fly down to the reclaimer, you check through the reclaimer, there's nothing there, and then you go over to this other ship that you find, and, that could be totally...
Well, they've all inadvertently got pirate hoodies on. You don't know why, and you can't take the hoodies off. Oh, what's happening?
So that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Too much smoke.
Oh dear. What's his name? Nathan? Is it Nathan? No.
Nathan. Yeah, it is Nathan. Yeah.
It is Nathan Disley, right? That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm terrible with names, so pardon me if I forget your name.
No, I'm rubbish. I mean, the one guy who was talking about all that fog bit, his name was Benjamin Parry, and I'm convinced he looks the spit of Max Headroom. But you'd have to watch it. But yeah, it was brilliant. So informative as well. I was listening to what he was saying. I was like, Jesus. I mean, I'm only just about able to keep up with what you're saying there. Some seriously clever stuff going on behind the scenes to get this volumetric lit fog, which apparently they ripped that out of Lumberyard.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah. So.
Yeah, they said that in the previous week's ATV.
Okay, so I guess we should we're done with ATV now. Although we could just talk about the Eclipse quickly. I mean, there's not really much to talk about with this. It's just another bomber, a strategic bomber, it seems like.
It's a bit more than that. It's about the size of... how big is it? It's roughly Vanguard size, I think, but it's a single-seater. You access
like
it...
The stealth bombers.
Yeah, exactly. It's the first ship which is going to have real stealth components in it. It'll be the stealthiest ship in the UEE Navy, apparently, and it's got size 9 torpedoes, which is just bonkers. And the idea behind it is that it gets where it needs to be. It fires off its torpedoes and gets out of there without them even knowing it's there, because it doesn't have an awful lot of weapons on it for dogfighting. It's all about
it's going to be fast though. It would have to be fast if you're going to escape.
I think it's all about low sig. It's probably pretty quick if it decides it needs to get out of there, but it's the weapons are self-defense rather than its primary form of offense, which is those fucking huge torpedoes that it's got.
So it's a single seat, no turrets or anything like that? No.
Nope, single seater. You access it from a ladder on the side, like other Aegis ships. I mean, I was a bit surprised because when I saw before I read the rest of the blurb, I thought it was going to be a 2-seater side by side.
Yeah, just like the B-52 bomber, the stuff.
But no, it looks like it's got a pilot simply so it can fly the torpedoes where it needs to be and then get out of there. It looks really nice. It's one of the nicest designs that I've seen so far, personally. But we'll just have to wait and see what they make of it.
Okay, so one last subject before we sign off this episode is the $0 CCU or the $5 CCU topic. So, you want to explain your stance on this?
I'm perfectly fine with it personally. I mean, I used the 0 CCUs quite heavily when I had a freelancer miss in my hangar. So I used it to swap between the miss, the Super Hornet, and the Gladiator, and back again, just so I could try them out to see which one I liked the most. But that's not what they were for. And I know an awful lot of people who had them for that reason, and those are the ones who are shouting the loudest about it because they used it for the flexibility, not because they didn't think that the original ship was going to be any good necessarily, but they'd like to be able to switch, to chop and change. Okay, me, I'm happy. I mean, I bought the ships that I bought because I wanted those ships. I made that decision based on what had been said about them. And if I lose the flexibility, because I do have some CCUs from the Phoenix to the other options, if they get timed out before the Phoenix is hangar ready, the new redo, then so be it. I made that decision and I'm happy with it. I think that's the biggest problem, is that people don't seem to remember that by pledging for Star Citizen to the level they have, they are saying, here's my money. I would like to see you make this game. Thanks very much. Oh, and I understand that in return, you're going to allow me to have this ship, which is great. But I'm giving you the money to support the creation of the game. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of people, I think, have forgotten that and are really thinking, well, I gave them the money for that ship. That's not the case.
Yeah, and I know what you mean. It definitely is sort of like they think the game's sort of done. That's the kind of mentality it's worked towards. It's like the game's done, and I want what I want because I paid for this, that, and the other. Whereas really it's more like you contributed to the game to help, and you got a little gift as a side note, and you're just basically you gave the money to help the game come to life, and that's the way I look at it. I mean, it's not a buying a ship. It's like it is buying a ship, but it's also this game will never be built unless we do pay for contribute money towards it.
Yeah, I mean, they jumped over $150 million in funding this week, which is it's a monumental achievement. That's an absolute bucket load of money that Joe Blogs has actually given them to create this game.
I don't think it's enough though. The amount of people they have working for them, like 150 million, is like 400 people. How much per year did each of them get paid? And then you multiply that out.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure whether that figure includes the subscriber money, because there's a lot of subscribers and they got to be bringing in a fair amount of money per month, right? So
isn't that just for like the ATV and
yeah, sure, but if there's extra money on top, then I'm pretty sure that they're using it for other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the subscription money is mainly what's to pay for the social interaction bits and pieces, or at least the number of them that we have. because even if they didn't have subscribers, they would still release information. It just would come out in the form of a web page update rather than a video content that we have at the moment. I don't think people have got the right perspective. The game's not done. The 2.6 branch of code that we're running is probably over a year out of date at this point. What we see at 3.0 will be more realistic. There's a lot of people bitching about things where they've just got the wrong perspective, in my opinion, right? So, yeah, okay, 0 CCUs may be going. You couldn't CCU to the Eclipse from an equal priced ship, which is fair enough. And I expect at some point they'll firm that up between now and the next concept sale, and either the 0 CCUs, which have been in for 12 months or more, will be lapsed, and they'll be it. They've made the decision. They're entirely, everything in alpha can change, and they say that anything and everything can be altered, even the CCU, which doesn't. People were just gaming the system. When you couple the CCU system with the buyback system, and you can effectively, trick your way through to a rarer ship. Case in point would be the Vanguard Warden to the Banu Merchantman. I had a Vanguard at the time, and I upgraded to the Merchantman before I knew it had gone up in price. So I was fortunate, right? But I made that decision, and obviously other people who did that have been then selling their Merchantman and making a profit, because obviously the Merchant is quite a rare one. Now, that was obviously, I think, the tipping point for CIG. They realized they needed to do something about that going forward, which is where this came from. I don't think they really had any other option. Well, and obviously,
they could have done like $1 or $2 as opposed to $5. To me, like $5 seemed like for just changing for a CCU, it seems excessive. Whereas, like, if they did $1, I mean, expiration works too. Like the CCUs expire, but like like $1 or $2. I mean, then people are still likely to do it, but they're also not likely to complain about $1. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's not really a big change if the CCU was just there, for the reason you bought it for. Because I want to change my ship from this to this. In my mind, they could keep the CCU system, even the 0 CCU system, but they make it apply on buy. So you want to CCU your ship to something else, and if you click checkout and you complete it, then your ship is upgraded when you click checkout or pay now. You can't keep that in your hangar and wait for it. You want to make that change, fine, bosh, done. Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea too. Actually, I mean they don't need to be able to save them. I don't really see the point in buying like 25 of them or getting 25 of them and then sort of using them a year down the line or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it does remove some flexibilities, especially with people who've got the big multi-ship packages like the Completionists for which is the biggest one, and also this one that was released with this sale, the Aegis, whatever it is, the $2,000 one, which had all of the Aegis ships in it. When you've got them in a package like that, you can't melt a individual ship and then use that money to buy something which comes up in the anniversary sale, for example. If you wanted to have one of the rarer ships, you just can't. You just have to buy something. But ultimately, you do tend to get a discount when you buy these multiple packages, multiple ship packages. So you make your choice, you pay your money.
Yeah,
that's my opinion on it. Anyway,
I agree. There's a little too much small children sort of mentality of like, I want what I want sort of thing. My kids do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, which brings me back to the thing I think I'll mention, and then if we haven't got anything else to talk about, we'll end it, right?
We haven't got anything else to talk about, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I haven't. You're not aware of this, right? So this will be a real reaction. Okay, so a couple of either yesterday or on Friday, whatever. I'm not entirely sure when it happened because I didn't even notice, right? But there was some talk on the Concierge forum where Turbulent made a code change on the website, which inadvertently allowed people to upgrade certain ships to an Idris M, right? Which is the rarest ship you can find, right? Which is basically the Idris with the big fuck off railgun, yeah? And so it was a mistake, and apparently it was only available for a short period of time. I'm just going to guess and say it was like an hour, right? But there's obviously a lot of people who are really anal about Idris M's and really want to get one, and they must have something on their.
What was the swap for? What was like? Was it like?
Well, only going from what I heard, I think it was only from the Eclipse up to the Idris M. So you had to have an Eclipse already, and you can actually pay the difference to upgrade to an Idris M. But it was effectively would make the Idris M about $995, which is obviously way less than the grey market price if you want to use that, which is what a lot of people were complaining about. So in this thread that I was following, there was an awful lot of people saying, "Oh, well, that's good for that person who's got it. I demand to have the same opportunity to have that upgrade. It's not fair that they had that option." Blah 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 blah. Even though further on in this thread, somebody said that CIG had already emailed the person who'd actually bought one of these upgrades and said, "Look, you've purchased an upgrade which shouldn't have been available." That basically say that this upgrade is basically frozen until we do an investigation to find out what's going on. So even with that, knowing that CIG had found the error and had done something about it, there were still people saying, "I want to have that option as well. It's not fair." Blah 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 blah.
Just like my children.
Yeah, that's why I decided to mention it right now. It's just like, look, it was a mistake. It happens. Somebody was lucky, but they'll end up having their money refunded because that shouldn't have been there in the first place. End of story. Stop complaining about it. I'm just amazed at the amount of bitching that I get, even in the concierge forum, where the people who have actually spent, X amount and really should be the most level-headed about it, they seem to be worse than all the others, which is a real surprise to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is sort of entitled mentality, which to me doesn't make any sense in Star Citizen, at least not at this specific point in its development.
You hit the nail on the head there, mate. That's the word, entitled. And ultimately, people are forgetting, and it comes back to what we said before. You spend money to support Star Citizen's development, and you do get something back in return. But the real reason why you spend the money is to support the development. So the fact that somebody may have got this ship doesn't mean that they're not entitled to the same option. They're entitled to give some more money if they want. I mean, why do they want this massive ship that would need like 20, 30 random, pulling out of my ass, physical crew to actually fight it? If the only reason why somebody would want that and complain so bitterly about it is if they wanted to sell it on the grey market and make a profit. Otherwise, why complain? It doesn't make any sense. Really doesn't.
It doesn't. It's I mean, like I said, it's just an entitled mentality of a lot of people. Like if someone has it, my kids do the same thing. It's like, my sister has this, sort of thing. It's like, yeah, well,
same as mine. I got two girls too.
It's like
they're always like, yeah, but she had juice and I had milk. I want juice. I said, well, I ran out of bloody juice. That's why you got milk. Sorry, it happens.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just hope that everybody just calms down and gets back to normal. I mean, there was even moaning about the pre-sale for the Eclipse because they allowed people who were concierge backers to buy the Eclipse the day before, but
who cares?
But they had the people who bought it was a war bond edition, so it was real money. So you couldn't CCU up to it or anything like that. You had to put real money in to get one of these. So I mean, it's only a day early. What's going to mean? It means that the early tail numbers are gone because it had like a specific hull number on the wings, right? So 001 up to 647 or whatever it was by the end of the first night.
Why don't they become a concierge then? I mean. Yeah, I think the concierge should put enough money in that they deserve a few perks. I'm not a concierge, so but I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if you put $2,000 into a game, you get first dibs, dude. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but ultimately you get first dibs to give more money to CIG for the development of the game. You're not
like ridiculous.
You're not buying anything. Really, you're supporting them, and you get a couple of things afterwards. That's the way I think about it. I don't think everything that I've got is not. I'm not like super snowflake about it. I've got a Phoenix, or I've got this, that, the other. I'm quite embarrassed, frankly, by what I have, but ultimately, I'm happy with what I've been able to do.
Yeah,
to support the game.
It's all about the supporting of the game. If you want a really good game, you got to support it.
Exactly. And just thank the gods that people like, it's not an EA release or something like that. We should have a lot more sense behind the development of it when it comes out. And people just need patience. I think we end up right at the end of every single podcast. We say people just need to have a bit more patience, and they just do. It'll come out when it's ready. Look at every single week you can see in Around the Verse just how much details going into this game. How can you possibly think that nothing is going to be vaporware when you see how much details going into it?
Well, once
it'll be
3.0
out when it's
comes
out.
out, it'll be sort of a different thing. It'll be a real game, and you'll be able to play it, and sort of you can. I'd be willing to tell people that I know that you should check it out. Before that, I'm never going to tell anyone before 3.0 to just check out the game unless they love space sims. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now there isn't really much. I mean, you've got, glorified deathmatch in Star Marine, same in space in the Arena Commander, and
a couple of missions, 10 missions, 12 missions, something like that, and
a few missions in the PU, which whilst it is pretty, I would argue that right now, if you compare it to something like Elite Dangerous, then Elite Dangerous, whilst it isn't as pretty and you can't get up and walk about, there's way more to do.
Yeah.
So when 3.0 is out, that's when you'll start to see what legs the game's going to have.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be key. I think Gamescom is going to be big this year, right around my birthday. It'll be good.
Where is it this year?
I think it's in German Frankfurt. No,
I
think it's in Frankfurt.
Yeah, you're not going to go then. Bit far for you.
No, I'll come back to that. So to the UK in August, in December. My bad.
You're coming over Crimbo again?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll make sure to put that in my diary so I'm available.
We'll still be doing this, I'm assuming, seeing 3.0, unless 3.0 just a total nosedive.
Well, we could do it. I mean, it'll probably be a little bit of a better experience because we'll be both in the same time zone doing it for a change.
Yeah.
Although you won't have your fancy background. We'll just have to, it'll be rough and ready in December.
Yeah, it'll be a laptop version.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway.
Right then.
I guess we'll call this one done, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the video. Appreciate you subscribing. There's been a few more subscribers subscribing up this last couple of weeks, which is good. We'll get to 100 soon.
Tell your friends, because we are funny and it's worth watching.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I think we'll start doing real streams, like for real, when 3.0 comes out and there's shit to do. I'll be escorting Mr. Morrissey around. We'll be doing some funny shit, jumping out of ships in atmosphere. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff. Yep, it's going to be good fun. Just means I'm going to have to sort out my end of the stream a little bit, because all I have to do right now is talk to him on Skype. But if we're doing this properly, we'll have to compile our video streams, won't we, and upload it later.
I think what we'll end up doing is like you do record your end and I'll record my end, and I'll sort of splice them together, and maybe I'll put a little video of you down in the corner or something like that. I don't know. It'll require a little bit of editing, but I can do some editing. That's in my wheelhouse, so
Tidy dots. All right
Okay.
then. Well, thanks everybody for your attention. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, unless something cool happens.
I don't see what could happen in those 2 weeks, and unless 3.0 is sprung on us, which is impossible.
Yeah, can you imagine? Tomorrow morning, surprise.
Yeah, Evocati version build coming out now. But so we only have really 3 weeks to Evocati, which is just
It's going to be good. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to try and avoid anything that's stuck up on YouTube, because ultimately stuff does come up. But I think we'll probably have to try and get some useful things to talk about, because obviously we need to stay relevant.
Yes. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.